Welcome to Bolts and Brass, folks. As you can see, today we're doing something a little different. Slings. And I've talked about it a couple times in the past. We've touched on which models I use, just kind of as a general thing. But this isn't so much about a particular model as what do they offer and what are the differences in styles. And figuring out what works for you. Because my needs aren't necessarily your needs, aren't necessarily, some tactical entry team's needs, aren't a hunter's needs. Everybody's got different things they're looking for. So we're going to go over the basics. Now, this is going to be AR-15 centric, however the principles hold. You're just going to have to figure out where the balance point is for your rifle. And we're going to touch on that because this is an SBR with a suppressor and obviously a short barrel since it's an SBR. But it's got a different balance point than, say, a standard 16-inch AR with a lightweight barrel, or a heavy barrel, or a 20-inch barrel standard, A1 style rifle. So they're all a little different. Now, in this case, I've got an MS4 Sling on, set up in the 2-point configuration, attached pretty low, pretty far back here, and pretty central. I got it on the receiver. Now, why? The answer is because it hangs like this. I can bring this up and be in position to shoot. I can go this way, I can go this way, and I can bring it back down. I can't, in this configuration, get it to my left side. I would have to slide this out, bring it over, and I'm still kind of tight. I can do it, but it's not ideal. But I made it adjust further. My arms don't reach. Practically speaking, it doesn't. However, I can make it reach if I wanted to. You've got things like taking your arm out. Okay? Slip that arm out. It's just hanging off your neck. You still got the advantage of a sling. So I'm not going to lose it. At least not unless I start jumping around. I can still let go. I can still get to my secondary. Can't necessarily holster it. But I've still got options. But this isn't ideal. If I lean over, if I get knocked down, my rifle is not real secure. But I can tighten it up and I can let go. This isn't, I can lean over, I can do stuff. I can crouch down and it kind of rests. Okay, I hope you can see this. It is comfortable, it is practical, and still usable. Now, if I put this back here, okay, you notice that the rifle hangs lower. My attachment point has come to the rear of the gun, and the whole rifle hangs lower. I didn't change the length of the sling. I actually shorted it up as far as it would go in my setup right now. I'm still attached here, but I'm hanging much lower. This is going to bang into my leg, okay? That's smacking my leg. So that gets you into the idea of attachment point positioning matters. If you want the gun higher, this end has to be further up on the gun. It has to be further toward the muzzle. This is a good position if you're doing things. This is not your combat position. This is not your I'm clearing my house from burglars position. This is I'm carrying the gun. I don't need it right now. I need it out of my way. Now, you can do things like send it behind yourself. Okay? Now, I'm not smooth at that. I was trying to not hit my table. But that's the idea. And you can go over your shoulder. You can go under your shoulder. I was going under because I figured if I was going to hit the table, I'd hit the bottom. So, but you can get it out of your way. Now, if I convert this to a single point, okay, you'll see the difference. Because this is stable, right? It's kind of hanging in one position. So if you do a single point, and again, you'll see people do this. Grand Thumb has a really good video. Mike has it's a great video of basically these slings and the one Travis Haley, his dad, designed. It is excellent. However, his body type is very much not my body type. So what do you do with that? You've got to kind of adapt. Now, but here's the real problem, because this works. If you're using the rifle right then, this is great. Okay, I can loosen this up and be able to easily move back and forth. The problem is the rifle's hanging down on my knees. Okay, this is short and it's already at my knees. If I start running, yeah, you can see what that's going to do to me, right? Not a happy situation. If I've got this up here and I drop it, okay, yeah, I don't want to do that. This is a position for using the rifle right then. Now, this is why I use the adjustables. I use the kind that you can do either or. I like it. It works. I don't like it as my default position. I'm a real fan of that. I can tighten it up. It's out of my way. I can loosen it up and use my rifle. Okay? When I let go, it kind of goes off to the side. It doesn't try to hang straight down. This, I could stand here all day. I could walk around with this all day. It's not where you wear it when you're going to need it right now. You leave a little more slack. It's a little lower. I've rambled on a lot about this. This was the MS4. It is a single or a double point. So we're going to switch rifles, and I'm going to show you a different sling on a little more traditional setup, and then we're going to show you this lower, that upper, this sling, because it's pretty different. So this is configuration 2. I got a more traditional stock on here. You can use this on anything. You can put a quick detach up here. You can do what I did and just loop it through the stock. If you've got a stock that doesn't have a quick detach but has a sling loop, same thing, very adaptable. It is still a 2-point. You could run this as a 1-point. You can quick detach here and convert. I don't ever do it. This is meant to be a 2-pointer. I've got a pull tab here. Okay, this is getting very common. The Magpul has a slider, but having a handle or like a strap is very common. Some people don't like it. They don't like something sticking out there where it can catch on anything. Given how many of the serious tactical slings have it, I have to assume that people in the field are not having issues. I could be wrong. If you've had issues, let me know. So this is generally a lighter duty sling, very comfy. I got a pad on here, but you notice on this sling, on this rifle, I don't have anywhere to attach it down here, which means that the whole thing sits lower. There's nothing I can do about that. I mean, I am tightened up all the way, right? It's still hanging down past my knees, okay? With no suppressor. It's a 16-inch barrel, no suppressor. However, it's still kind of comfy. You know, it still's got the tendency to slide that way. It'll still do that, no big deal. But I can bring it up and be in position, okay? What I can't do is get it over to my left easily when it's that tight. Loosen it up, I can make it, it's kind of snug. This is another example of, so you can see I've got the clip if I want to do single point. It's pretty useless, to be honest. It hangs way too low. Now, if I had to use it, if I really knew I was going to be switching shoulders a lot, okay, you can do it. But it is way too high. It is digging into my chest. But that's down to this position. If it was mounted down here, I wouldn't have that issue. So that's a Strike Industries sling. This is one of their new ones. I like it. I like it like this. It is decently made, reliable, comfy. It's a sling. Now, is it ideal? Not in my case. You might find it different. Your body shape, your height, your weight, your rifle, everybody's a little different. For me, it makes this stock work. I can't put a quick detach in. I'm not drilling holes. But you could. You could drill a hole, put a socket in. Magpul sells them. Other people sell them. You drill it, epoxy it. It's in there. I'm not super trusting. This, it's reinforced. I'm good. I trust it. It's not going anywhere. Honestly, if that breaks, I probably put enough pressure on it that I cracked the stock down here. So, it is what it is. But now let's go into something a little different. So we're going to cut. I'm going to put this upper on that lower so you can see the difference between the SBR type setup and a more traditional setup and how that changes things. Okay, welcome back. So I've got the same setup for the lower. I've got my lightweight upper, 16-inch barrel, muzzle device. It's a lightweight upper and hangs nicely, right? It's down to my knee almost, but it's okay. And it's not going to smack me in the balls. I can get it up there. Can't switch sides on this setup still. Honestly, I have yet to find a setup that lets a fat ass like me switch sides from a comfy ready position, from a comfy carry position, right? Yet to find that. If I can do this and be comfy, I can't just switch sides. If I hang it from up here, absolutely. So I've still got it mounted up here. What if I put it down here? Because a lot of folks run it way out there. It's kind of a more traditional setup. Well, what it does is it turns the rifle, okay? Now the rifle wants to hang like that. If you let it, it'll wind up horizontal. You gotta kind of hold it. Now it's also very short. I can't shoulder this, not in a heartbeat. Even if I sling it way back, okay? That's as far as that goes. I can get it up there, but I can't pivot it that way. I've got to pivot my whole body. However, here's where it gets interesting. I've got a lot of room here. If I want to go prone, I can get some support off of this. It's stretched tight. So if you're planning to use a supported sling shooting position, way out here is good. Now make sure it's free floated. If this is contacting your barrel, doing that is going to torque your shots off. They're going to go left or right if you got the sling on the other side. However, this does work. You can carry like this, crank it in tight. The sling is shorter, it brings it up higher. If I'm shooting prone or shooting kneeling, having that sling bracing definitely makes you a better shot. It definitely helps. So you narrows those groups down a little bit. The other thing you can do, real old school, put this back here. Okay, now I've got what is very traditional for a sling setup. If you go look at old hunting rifles, they're front and back, right? The barrel sticks out past that point. They're kind of way at the end at the back of the buttstock and way forward on the stock. If I want to put this on my back, okay, that hangs, okay? That'll hang. None of these other setups will do this, okay? This will hang on my back. It will try to turn, but it can't go too far, okay, because it's hanging off that far end. If it's further up, not hit the table. Okay, If this was here, it would just pivot. It would not hang properly. The weight needs to be hanging from the front, as far up on the rifle as you can get. So much better. So you can see this is my default position. The rifle's way up, it's comfy, it's out of my way, it doesn't come off my body, okay? When I hang forward, it's still right there. It's actually touching my body. If I had to help somebody up and down the stairs, a ladder, if I'm working on something, the rifle is secure. I don't feel like it's in my way or I'm going to lose it. If I want to toss it around behind, I can do that. To me, that's the benefit of these adjustable 2-point slings and proper placement on the rifle. Now, my rifle's balanced like this. If you've got different rifles, they might balance differently. One of the advantages of this closer setup, where they're basically at the receiver, is that the actual balance of the rifle becomes less important. It's almost guaranteed that it will hang somewhat like this. Not perfect. If you've got a longer barrel, a heavy barrel setup, it might hang a little more straight up and down. You could smack yourself in the balls. If you've got a really heavy stock setup and a really light barrel setup, which would be kind of weird, but people do it. Say you've got a really short barrel and no suppressor, right? It might try to tip this way and start going horizontal. Now the nice thing is it's limited that way. There's not a lot of room here for it to pivot. It kind of has to go back. You could get about to there, which, I mean, kind of in the way, but not really. One of the advantages of the more upright is that you're not smacking door frames, you're not smacking walls. You know, I can walk around and the rifle kind of is in my body frame, right? To me, that's ideal. Now, both of these slings are under 100. The MS4, I got them for $59. I bought several of them over like a year. I tried a bunch of slings. I found the MS4 and I said, you know what? That does everything I want to do as long as I've got quick detach slots. And then I said, okay, I need one without quick detach. I tried the First Strike, or the Strike Industries, not First Strike. Strike Industries one. And I gotta say, it was different. It is a more rounded shape on the pad, and I wasn't sure how I was gonna like it. And what I discovered was I stopped noticing it after 5 or 10 minutes of carrying the rifle. To me, that's ideal. It wasn't doing anything that left me annoyed with the sling or having to fiddle with it. It just worked. This, I kind of leave it loose while I'm shooting. And then when I'm done, when I need to have my hands free and not worry about smacking myself, grab it, I'm good. That is really long. I'm going to edit the hell out of this. So, and you guys are not going to see a few bloopers. I may throw one in just for giggles. So, I hope that was helpful. Honestly, I think that slings are, well, I mean, they're like buying shoes. You know, they all do roughly the same thing. But some are a little better for certain things, and they fit everybody a little differently. I thought that there needed to be a sling video for people built like this, rather than the super buff athletic guys that tend to do these videos. Because let's face it, what works for them does not necessarily work for us. It just doesn't. I learn a lot from those videos, but I also learned that, hey, if I was 160 pounds, this would be easier, but I'm not 160 pounds, and I'm probably never going to be 160 pounds, so I got to make it work. This makes it work. Take care, have fun, stay safe, y'all, and stick around for the bloopers. I'll throw those in there. I don't have to worry about the rifle. Let me demonstrate what that looks like, because it's a little weird. Hang on. Say hi. Oof. Oof. Oof.